Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here again at Bitcoin. Double checking a couple things here on the weekend just to kind of give you a quick refresh on where we're at. It's generally a favorable situation, but there's going to be low volume on the weekend, so that does breed unique circumstances. Some alts are doing well, some are doing poorly. It's just kind of it's a mixed bag for the moment, but we'll look at those later. I wanted to kind of touch on liquidation levels before we get started and kind of just get a foundation there and just let you know that there is a lot more liquidation to the upside here starting to occur. So that is positive for longs because as more shorts start to enter the market, whales get a little bit on the greedy side. They like to squeeze out those shorts, and there's a decent chance that the price action could retest that 70,000 range. I also talked about this on my Twitter, Telegram, and Bitcoin analysis update, basically on basically some shorts that I provided. And what I talked about is there's three different things that are occurring. One of them being this very strong doji candle, which we'll talk about. There's also a couple of other reasons too, with Bitcoin dominance working out, and then of course the more important one, we can actually touch on this and start with this, is Bitcoin CME futures. This may not seem like a big deal because it was a small amount, but that CME gap has been filled there as low as about 67,400. Again, there's that nasty candle wick down, swept all the shorts there, or sorry, swept all the longs, the late leverage longs, and then price returned. So again, that's a very good thing. So there's some positive contributing factors here. While you don't just take a long position blindly because of those things, that is absolutely relevant and contributing to the upside. So let's quickly note here on the daily and work our way down. Oh, one last thing too. This is a new update from Bitunix. Keep in mind, if you use my link to register, you're good to go. You're qualified for this. Just go ahead and follow the instructions on the link. I'm going to include that in the description. It's also available on our Discord, but there is nice little deposit bonuses they're providing for you. And this is an instant futures bonus. Be sure to check that out. If you haven't used my link to register, I recommend it. Bitunix is phenomenal. That's for new and existing members who use my link only. Quickly to note here on the daily time frame to kind of get back on track, let's talk about the 20-day sub-moving average. This guy right here, this ascending trend line, we're still honoring it, still holding it. We are in good shape. So again, I know we're not like super bullish on the daily time frame, but we are still looking very positive. We're still maintaining above that point of control between 66 and 67,000. So that's reaffirming itself as a strong support. Okay. Stochastic is also swinging up here or soon to converge. Generally speaking, that's a very favorable sign. In most cases, you look back statistically, every time the convergence on Bitcoin has occurred, the price has done extremely well. Okay. So again, it's not every time, but it's pretty consistent. You can see the last 3 times we've had a stochastic swing to the upside, and even 4 times rather, we've seen the price do some pretty good stuff. These average prices here are somewhere in the range of about 5 to 10% at least. So while the price may not moon for Bitcoin, as some would like to say, it's definitely a favorable sign. We can also recognize too that we got a MACD divergence kind of conflicting the information there, letting us know that we were shifting momentum to the downside. That can easily MACD FU and change. And if we do take a look, of course, at traditional RSI and money flow index, these are above 50 in the RSI. So that's always favorable too. When you have those contributing factors, more likelihood of the price action continuing higher, balancing out that support at 67,000. Okay, so for our time frame, we can reflect a very similar scenario here, whereas the price action is under 50 on the RSI. It's kind of inverse, if you will, where the price action is bouncing off of that lower level there if the money flow index came down as low as 20. Generally, a bounce off of 20 on the 4-hour time frame for money flow index is a good consideration for a buy. So again, hindsight's 20/20, of course, but generally speaking, that would have been a good consideration. I did talk about that yesterday being a possibility, but you generally want to make sure there's other contributing factors before you just jump into it. And we got MACD convergence here as well. Keep in mind, this is a weekend, folks. I wouldn't expect a tremendous amount from Bitcoin. It has a tendency of being quite odd in its price action on the weekends. But understanding where Bitcoin is right now is very important and relevant in understanding how altcoins are going to respond too. Quickly to note, we're under the cloud. Lagging span is no longer free and clear of the price action. It's kind of within and or above. That tells us there's a shift in momentum. However, stochastic is still, or sorry, I say stochastic because it's got the same colors. Generally speaking here, we can see the conversion line and the baseline. The conversion line is below the baseline now. So again, those are construed as good things, right? Most of these things are good. However, we're still under the cloud. The cloud is averaging itself out at 68,000. So from a short-term perspective here, from the more so micro, this isn't micro exactly, but this is smaller than I generally like to look at. We can see here that with us being below the cloud, there is potential for a rejection at that 68,000 mark, okay? Because we got this descending trend line, we got our bearish backtest of the ascending trend line, and we're working ourselves into the cloud. So from a smaller time frame perspective, Bitcoin is not out of the woods and is not in a fantastic situation. This could actually be, in all reality, you know, if you watch it close, this could be a decent shorting opportunity if we come up to that 68K mark. Either way you look at it here, we want confirmation. What that looks like is 68,200 or higher. A closure above that 0.382 fib would feel nice for me to be able to warrant a long position. More importantly, I'd like to be able to break this descending trend line and essentially be above the previous ascending trend. Now, that's not exact science. Ascending trend lines, it's a very macro trend line, so I would not read into this exactly. But the smaller time frames here reflecting this descending trend, lower highs and lower lows, essentially, that's an important thing to recognize and to make sure to respect. So getting above that, I think at very least, is an important factor. Okay, so that's where we're at there, folks. I hope this made sense. I described this correctly. Feel free to jump on over to our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I provide a lot of shorts now on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. So pick whichever one works best for you, honestly, and feel free to jump on in there and have some fun, get your learn on. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, though. Thank you so much again for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care.